1. This happened a few months ago. I work at a small takeout restaurant. Before COVID, we used to offer dine-in seating. You still order and pay at the window, then we bring your food to you on an actual plate. And you bus your own table. Since COVID, we have stuck to strictly takeout only, and have continued this even now. We offer a few tables outside if you choose and want to sit outside, with your takeout container food. One evening, a group of 3 middle-aged men come in and order their food, no problem. One of the men asked what we are doing to limit plastic waste, to which I replied with compostable containers. He insisted we serve him the food on a plate. I guess to reduce waste. But since COVID, we did a remodel of the restaurant and we don't have any plates, cups, bowls, etc. anymore, so that wasn't an option. He kept insisting we need to serve his food without using any disposable trays. And when I said that wouldn't be possible, he got slightly mad and irritated. We were going back and forth for a good 10 minutes, until eventually I told him, if you're trying to be eco-friendly, no one is forcing you to eat at a takeout restaurant. There are plenty other dine-in, of the same food category places, to eat within walking distance from here. He grumbled and ordered his food anyways. Now the best part is he comes back 5 to 10 minutes later. He was sitting outside eating and one of his friends got a 6-pack of beer at a nearby gas station. And what does he ask for? 3 disposable cups. Now I can understand if it's a big pitcher of beer and they want to share, but it was in the individual cans, which they proceed to pour into the plastic cups, not sharing. I don't drink beer and don't know if people prefer to drink it from a cup. My dad drinks it from the can, but this seems to be highly non-eco-friendly and wasteful to me. Hellfreezer's note, they were almost certainly using the cups so that people wouldn't know they were drinking alcohol in public. 2. Hello, beginner bussers, this post is for you. I'm a busser and I get so many compliments from the waitstaff, even the bartenders and the dishwashers. The main thing you need to view your job as a little helper. That's your main job. Sometimes pre-bussing, taking plates from customers while they're still seated, is more important than wiping tables. This applies to if it's not busy or the restaurant isn't allowing new customers. If you're pre-bussing while there's multiple dirty tables and it's the busiest time of the night, that's not good time management. Also, you are just starting out and have social anxiety about going up to a table and asking to take a plate. You are afraid they will say no in a mean way. I never pre-bussed at the beginning of my experience, and now I'm fine with it. A good indicator is either plates at the end of the table or when nobody at the table is chewing or looking at their food. I also always ask if they want a box. The waiters love it. The waiters will tip you out more if you pre-bus their tables. It's the main thing they notice. Just say to yourself, I'm allowed to be nervous. It will get easier with time. What I did to ease into it is only take plates that are pushed to the end of the table. And remember, the waiters that are likely to nag you and boss you around are the ones that hustle the most. There are 3 waitresses I've always hated, always getting on my back to pre-bus. But recently I realized I never see them standing around, they are always hustling. I know it's hard, but if you're working with someone, you need to try to see their good qualities. Another thing is, how about the bartenders with putting glasses away? And if your restaurant has a dish pit, and it's not in neat piles when you get there, it should be when you leave. The dishwashers do notice. I had a guy say to me from across the pit, I like when you're working, you make everything all neat. So trust me, work hard people do notice. Also, waiters tell managers when they like you. The bartender and a server both talk to my manager about how I help them. I have some more advice about dishes. If you see a waiter with a dish in their hand, on their tray, heading to the kitchen, ask to take it. If a server is busy and they don't have to spend precious time in the kitchen, they will love you. Side note, If you are already in the dish pit and a server comes by with a stack of plates, say, "Want to leave them there?" And if they're busy, they will love it. The servers I'm more close with, I say leave it, and they usually say you're the best or I love you so much. Oh yeah, get ready for pet names and compliments. Servers love to call everyone sweetie or babe, especially those younger than them. Crushes. If you're into guys, you most definitely will get a crush at some point. Being around guys who have to be charismatic, as a job, in fancy clothes, has gotten me multiple times. It's okay to have crushes as long as you don't let it become your job. It's very easy to drop everything and only bust tables your crush has. So remind yourself, don't let my crush make me bad at my job. Because the job is more important, and you will have chances to interact another time. If your manager says you're on the patio and your work crush is inside, so be it. That's your job. Make friends with new people. If you want a work bestie, the best bet is someone who's new, because most of the time everyone already has a work bestie. Your work besties will probably need to be the other bussers or food runners, so be nice to them. I usually find that sharing something about myself makes someone else more comfortable around me. If it's not a chain restaurant, the owners are probably there. Suck up to them. Don't go out of your way to, but just be nice to them and laugh at any joke. Managers are kind of in the same boat. Obviously be nice to them and everyone there. But if you make a mistake, they see you more, so they know you better than the owners. Final thing, ask servers and managers if they need anything. If they do, they'll be relieved. If they don't, they will be impressed you asked them that. I like asking the boss's servers if they need anything because it makes them feel like they aren't nagging you for once. 3. Friday, I was working my normal lunch shift, scheduled at 11 with my normal coworker. We're a busy sports bar near stadiums. We can usually handle lunch, just the two of us, no problem, and I work Monday and Wednesday by myself. So Friday I'm late. I had a tire issue and got there about 11:35. The entire dining room is full of kids. The bar is full of regular guests. Everyone is running around and I go start making drinks. Our CO2 blows. It's done this before when we get busy. We start giving out bottled drinks, taking orders, all separate checks. Then they start moving around. I clapped my hands and told them that we cannot make this work if they are moving around before getting their food and to sit down and stay there. Oh, we also didn't have a host or to-go person. Didn't schedule one, apparently. We get the food out. She and I have different systems on how we do things. So, all my kids had checks and she was still trying to split hers up. More people are coming in. I'm telling them, hey, if you have to be in and out fast, this is probably not a good idea. Most people were like, no, that's fine, we aren't in a rush. Only to, of course, be pissed when we were taking forever to get to them. She's finally got most of hers paid out. Oh, of course, each table cashing out took like an extra 10 minutes because every other card was declined for insufficient funds. And the kids who had cash ended up having to pay for the other kids. It was a total shit show, but almost over, except we're still getting more regular tables than usual. When I feel my phone and my apron start to vibrate, I rarely get calls at this time. I knew it. I fucking knew it. My kid's school is calling. My kid is sick. I have to come get her. I told them I'll be there when I can. Try her dad. Like 8 times. No luck. So I get my coworker caught up as possible, throw $40 at her and say I'll be right back. I get back. The kids are gone. Start helping her clean up. Collect the receipts. The most any kid left was $1. I got $6 for waiting on 60 shit-ass kids. She made about $10. Other customers were mad even though I explained the situation, gave them their checks before they even got their food, gave my card to the manager and told him exactly who was waiting for what. He just ran into the office. 3 more tables, no tips. I left with $45 on about $2,000 in sales. Oh, and later I found out there was a concert that night, a rap concert, and that's why we were getting so slammed on top of the party. Also found out management knew ahead of time and just forgot. I cried twice. 4. I'm fairly new at this job. I've been serving now for a little less than a month, but I have previous experience in working with food. I also got a food handling certificate through a college course a few years ago, so they decided to give me the benefit of the doubt. I've honestly been doing good so far until last night. Last night was an absolute mess. Last night I had my first large party. 12 people walked in claiming they had a reservation, which they did. However, it wasn't a normal reservation where they were all there together. For some reason they made 2 separate reservations under the same name, but at different times of the night. The first reservation was 8 for 7 p.m., and the second was 4 for 7:30 p.m. They all, 12 of them, showed up for the reservation at 7. Since my section was the only one open, I told them I would take it. I thought it was no biggie, since the most I had served before was 9, and it shouldn't be too much harder. I was super wrong. I couldn't do anything right with this party, except for like one guy who was actually super chill and understanding. That being said, the rest of the table was full of a bunch of Karens. Almost every person wanted 3 drinks each. We're talking like a cocktail, then a fountain drink, then water for each person. They wanted them out at the same time. They didn't like how the food was made and complained about that as well, even though they ate every last bite. They also had so many ridiculous demands. Also, they made our bartender cry for being out of pineapple. I had about 5 other tables at the same time, and this party was making it almost impossible to tend to my other tables. In the end, I had to ask one of my supervisors to help me with the other tables. They were happy to do so, but I felt bad about it because they were my tables, you know? Anyways, about halfway through, one of them looked up from their phone and told me to pull up another chair and bring another menu. A 13th person had suddenly decided to join, halfway through. I spoke to my supervisor to make sure it was okay, but at that point there was nothing we could do except bring the extra chair and menu. The 13th unexpected person showed up 30 minutes later and joined in on the ridiculousness that was last night. It was like what I had described at the start for the remainder of the night until they left. Just a lot of complaints and ridiculous demands that we couldn't meet. After a while, my supervisor told the host to stop seating my section because they realized I wouldn't be able to serve the other tables. While I'm grateful for that, I still feel bad that my coworkers had to pick up the tables that would have been mine. Before I forget, these people wanted the check split into 6 tickets. So I then had to go around and make sure I had the correct items on the correct tickets. I'm very annoyed at this because when I asked earlier, they said it was all on one ticket. I checked twice, and then decided to change their minds after I had brought out the check. They all racked up a bill of over $300 plus gratuity, so almost $400-ish, so I kinda understand. But also, I don't know what they expected after considering the prices and ordering the amount they did. After they left, I went and cried in the cooler, but shout out to the super chill dude who gave me a separate $100 tip on his way out. Note, I would like to add that when we have parties of 8 or more, we automatically add 18% gratuity to the check. We make it known, and they could have requested we take it off, but they didn't. We ended up splitting it between the 6 tickets because all were under the same reservation and table. The reason, if you're wondering, for the bill only being a little over $300 and then closer to $400 with gratuity is because some of the party members had redeemed some points to get a free meal, starter, or dessert. I also want to add that my place of work is able to accommodate up to parties of 30, give or take, with an extra party room that we hold off for that reason. The party room in question wasn't being occupied at the time. 5. So I'm an expediter and food runner for this corporate chain restaurant, and after working here for a couple of months, I feel like I'm being underpaid for my work. But I'm not quite sure if it's just the restaurant that I work at, or if it's a common thing for restaurants. For starters, on a normal night, there are usually 2 or 3 food runners in the expo team, assisting the 7 to 10 servers. Furthermore, each server has about 4, maybe 5 tables to take care of. Only a select few of them actually help out during a rush. Most of them are just standing around gossiping with each other, while the expo team and food runners scramble to serve the customers. And it's not like the food runners are just assisting for bigger parties. We are in charge of running food for everyone. We are even expected to run food when the restaurant is pretty much dead. The only time servers will help is if they have to bring out small items like 1 dessert, or 1 plate of fries. Moreover, as you may know, guests will often ask the food runners for favors, like asking for utensils, side plates, etc., which delay us from bringing more food out. This would all be fine and dandy if it wasn't for the pay. As food runners who practically do the same job as servers get minimum wage plus $1 an hour in tips. No matter how busy or how dead the night is, we get a flat rate. How on earth is it fair that servers get the majority of the tips, but don't do the majority of the work? And I'm not asking to make as much as servers, but the fact that I get paid on average $6 per shift in tips while they make hundreds is pretty bad. It would take me about 15 shifts to make the same amount they do in tips in one average night. At this point, I feel like I might as well work at McD's, since they would offer me the same money, and I'd still have the same amount of stress. And at least I'd have a more firm schedule. None of the first cut, second cut BS that doesn't help us nearly as much as it helps servers. Full disclaimer, servers get paid the same minimum wage that we do, so it's not like their tips compensate low pay. I just want to end off by saying I like working in a restaurant. I love the atmosphere and the work itself. I love the fast-pacedness and the social vibe of it all. However, I want to be compensated fairly, and I do want to know if there are better options out there. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, episode 187. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, if you could please hit the like button and share the video with a friend or family member. Okay, now we have a little birthday shout out to do today. The birthday is actually tomorrow, but we're also doing another one tomorrow. So I thought, since I'm recording a bunch together, do it today. And today's shout out goes to Daniel. Daniel is 17 today, so do it on the 17th, why not? I hope you have a very happy birthday, bud, and make sure your parents are giving you all the good yummy things you deserve. And most of all, make sure you get to do what you want today, as is only appropriate on your birthday. Okay, now before we go, I'm going to sing Happy Birthday, if that would be okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you. Okay, right, good stuff. And now we're going to move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is peanut butter. It comes in many forms and many varieties. But basically, at its core, it's just mushed up peanuts, spread on stuff. So do you have a favorite? You don't have to mention the brand if you don't want to. But personally, I like the ones where it is quite literally just peanuts. They're a bit runnier, so I keep them in the fridge so they kind of just they spread a bit more normally. But they're all natural. There's no added sugars to it. There's no added oils to the ones I buy either. It's just peanutty yummy goodness, and I like to have that with bananas sometimes. So let me know what you think. Do you like the smooth? Do you like the crunchy? I don't know if there's any other varieties in between there, but do let me know your thoughts in a comment below. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.